Hello and good morning, everyone. We are the group 3, and our topic is all about the science, technology, and nation building. So, science and technology have played a very crucial role in the development of our country, which is the Philippines as a nation. Throughout its history, the Philippines has been influenced by different cultures and colonial powers, each leaving its mark on the country's scientific and technological development. So we have here the pre-colonial period. So before the arrival of the Spanish in the 16th century, the Philippines had great scientific and technological growth, which is the indigenous people Filipinos had their own expertise and practices in agriculture, medicine, and navigation, among other things. So, in agriculture, the indigenous peoples created their own agricultural techniques such as the kaingin system, which involves clearing ground for cultivation by cutting and burning areas of the forest. So I have here a sample picture of the kaingin system. They also created irrigation systems such as the rice terraces in the Cordillera region, which enabled them to grow in slope uh, locations. In medicine, indigenous peoples developed their own knowledge and practices based on local herbs and plants for medicine. So, di ba, ang atong mga grandparents or atong grandparents is ang ilahang mga ginatambal is local herbs, mga plants nga makita lang sa palibot, sa natural lang, like kanang luya, panyawan, tuba-tuba, sa panadira, duman pang mga herbal nga mga plants nga magamit for medicine para sa tuang lawas. So, they established traditional healing methods that were passed down from generation to generation. And so di ba kato mga lolo-lolo pa jud nato. So ilahan ang gihimo until ilahang gipasa sa ilahang mga generation, sa ilahang apo, sa iyang anak, until now nga naga-practice lang gihapon kita or sa in some regions ani nga mga herbal plants lang gihapon ang ginagamit for medicine kay they believe manggod or we believe manggod or some believe dili na lang tanan nga ang mas makaayo sa ilaha ang herbal nga mga plants or herbal nga mga medicine kaysa atong naanay sagol nga mga chemical o nanay mga daghang process nga mga tambal. And so the traditional healers, sometimes we call them as babaylan, or not sometimes we call them or they known as the babaylan or the manghihilot, that they were well-respected members of their communities, offering medical care, spiritual instruction, and social assistance. So, here in our satong area is daghan na siyang mga manghihilot, ang sa tawag nila, manghilutay, sa mga spiritual nga mga part, mga ingon ana. So, I have here an example of mga herbal nga mga plants or herbal nga mga medicine. I have here luya, what do you call this? Tuba-tuba, garlic, and so other herbal plants. So next is navigation. So indigenous peoples evolved their own techniques of navigating the oceans, relying on the stars, wind, and other natural phenomena to lead them. So, di ba, kanang mga maglalayag or kanang mulayag ang mga barko, yung ana, sa unang panahon, kung maglayag ang mga tao is ang ilahang ginagamit or ang ilahang way para naasa sila sa sakto nila nga agianan is ang kanang mga stars, ang constellations, ang wind, ug ang uban pa nga mga natural phenomena nga maoy maghimong way nila
para makaadto sila sa ilahang adtuanan nga sakto ra pud ang ilang giagian. Ngan ana. So the practice of seafaring was vital to the region's trade and commerce. And it helped to build linkage between different regions of the archipelago and other parts of Southeast Asia. So, other developments including metallurgy, textile manufacturing, and architecture. So, in metallurgy, they invented methods for mining and smelting metals such as gold and copper. So, kaning metallurgy is katong ang mga gold ug ang copper is ilahang ginamelt, ilahang ginapainitan sa kalayo, kanang baga jud kay nga kalayo para ma-melt siya and para mao na to ilapod ilahang gamiton para makahimo sila artifacts o mga weapons like sundang, mga ingon ana sa una nga panahon. So, in textile manufacturing, they also developed their own weaving techniques, producing textile from native fibers like as abaca and cotton. So, di ba, mostly ang mga naghimo or nagaweave sa ilahang mga native nila nga mga product is mostly mga Muslims people like ang mga Yakan sa Zamboanga daghan kayo ang maghimo og mag-weave sa ilahang mga products, sa ilang t-shirt, sa ilahang bag, sa ilahang banig, ilahang mga habol, malong, ingon ana, silang clothes. And last is the architecture. So before, indigenous peoples evolved their own architectural designs using locally found materials such as bamboo and nipa palm. So diba sa mga sinauna pa jud kaayo is ang ilahang balay is sa caves sila. So ang after time is naka-develop or ang indigenous people is naka-discovered sila og mga locally found materials which is the bamboo ug ang nipa palm nga naara sa palibot. So mao na ang ilahang gigamit para makahimo sila balay nila. Mao na ilang gigamit para makahimo sila balay.
Spanish colonial period. The Spanish colonial period in the Philippines, which began with Ferdinand Magellan's arrival in 1521 and lasted until 1898, had a substantial impact on the country's scientific and technological progress. Among the significant developments during the time period are the Spanish introduced new crops and agricultural techniques such as tobacco, corn, and coffee, as well as new agricultural techniques such as plowing and irrigation. Governor-General Francisco de Sande built the country's first experimental farm in 1573. The founding of the University of Santo Tomas. The University of Santo Tomas was founded in Manila in 1611 and was Asia's first university. It was critical to the advance of science and medicine in the Philippines. Public works construction. During the Spanish colonial period, public works such as roads, bridges, and public buildings were built. This infrastructural project necessitated extensive engineering and agricultural skills. The Spanish introduced new technology to the Philippines, notably by the printing press in 1593, which played an important role in the diffusion of knowledge and ideas. Hospitalization. The Spanish also erected hospitals in key cities throughout the Philippines, which provided medical care as well as training for native doctors and nurses. In 1577, the first Hospital Real de Manila, was established. The expansion of Christianity and the development of churches. After the Spanish introduced Christianity to the Philippines, several churches and cathedrals were built. This construction necessitated extensive agricultural and engineering skills and were frequently interacted with local materials such as coral stone. While there are no specific dates for all these events, these took place over the course of the Spanish colonial periods, which lasted more than 3 centuries. The impact of Spanish colonization on science and technology in the Philippines was complicated and multidimensional, with both beneficial and bad consequences for the country's growth. American colonial period. The American occupation of the Philippines from 1998 to 1946 had a considerable impact on the country's scientific and technological progress. Among the significant developments during this time period, the Bureau of Science was formed in 1901 by the American colonial government, and it played an important role in fostering scientific research and development in the Philippines. Next is the new technologies were introduced to the Philippines by Americans, introducing the telephone, electronic power, and automobile. In addition, in 1901, they founded the Philippines Weather Bureau, which provided weather forecasting and monitoring services. Next is infrastructure development. The American made significant investment in infrastructure development, including the construction of roads, bridges, and railways. They also built modern port facilities, which aided in the growth of trade and business in the country. Next is the establishment of schools and universities. The Americans helped to boost literacy rates and promote education in the Philippines by establishing a public school system. They also created universities, such as the University of the Philippines, which play an important part in the country's growth of science and technology. Last is new crops and agriculture practices. The Americans introduced new crops such as cotton and wheat, as well as new agricultural techniques such as crop rotation and fertilizer uses.
Colonial period. American colonial period. Public health promotion. American invests in public health programs such as the development of public hospitals and the promotion of vaccinations campaigns. These changes occurred during the course of the almost 5-decade-long American colonial period. While the American occupations had a significant impact on the development of science and technology in the Philippines, it also had negative consequences such as natural resources exploitations and the suppression of indigenous knowledge and practices. Post-colonial period. The Philippines post-colonial period, which began after World War II, saw substantial changes in the country's science and technology scene. During this time, the following significant events occurred. Establishment of research institutions. Follow the war, the Philippines government established several research institutions, including the Philippines Atomic Energy Commission to the Philippines Science High School, and the Philippines Council for Agriculture, Forestry, and Natural Resources Research and Development, among others. The purpose of the institute was to promote scientific research and development in the country. Education's expansions. The government invested substantially in construction of new schools and colleges, resulting in a growth in the number of students pursuing degrees in the science and technological sectors. Industry development. In the 1950s and 1960s, the Philippines government undertook an industrialization program to promote the country's economic growth. This initiative required tremendous technological innovations to build various new businesses, including electronics, telecommunications, and manufacturing. Science and Technologies Policy. In the 1970s, the Philippines government established the Science and Technology for the National Development Programs, or STNDP, with the goal of promoting the incorporation of science and technology into the country's development objectives. This program resulted in establishment of the Department of Science and Technology, which was tasked at promoting the coordinating the country's scientific research and development. International corporations. The Philippine government also sought collaboration with other countries in science and technology. The country joined the International Atomic Energy Agency, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, and other international organizations devoted to scientific research and development. Overall, the Philippines made great progress in the science and technology throughout the post-colonial period, with the founding of research institutions, the expansion of education, the development of industries, the application of scientific and technology policies, and international corporations.
So, in conclusion, how does science and technology contribute in nation building? So, we have here some nga mga what do you call this, like in education nga naga na na contribute sa science and technology sa nation building. So first is they contribute in economic development. So innovation is driven by science and technology, resulting in the creation of new industries, products, and services. This, in turn, lead to more job possibilities and economic growth. Nations that invest in R&D or research and development are more likely to have long-term economic growth and stability. So, 'di ba, with the use of science and technology, our economic has nag-develop jud siya, like sa pag-produce og product dili na mano-mano kay nanay mga machines. Sa services dili na pud mostly kanang ikaw na naay uban sa machines na lang mga ingon ana, or sa services with the help of technology nga mas mapadali ang serbisyo nimo sa imong customer. Sa industry sub is there are so many nga mga bag-o na nga mga na-develop para, and that lead nga daghan nagtrabaho tungod sa economic development kay tungod sa nag-adapt man og science and technology. So there this lead to more job possibilities and economic growth. So next is in healthcare. So medical technological advancements have improved healthcare results, resulting in longer life expectancies and a higher quality of life. So kani siya example ani is katong mga for kanang pangsumpay sa imong kinabuhi, di ba, na there sa una is wala pa na siya na develop kaayo kanang nasumpayan imong life. Naay sila yung mga gamiton nga mga unsa na mga advancement dira technological, like magpa-chemo ka, 'di ba, sa una wala pa kayo ng chemotherapy. So karon is tungod sa nag-adapt man as sa science ug technology, so nana siya chemotherapy, which is pwede ka mas mapalonger pang imuhang life nga imong expectancy, dili lang ka dali-dali mamatay ingon ana. Pwede pa siya mas mohaba pa ang imuhang kinabuhi, pero naa gyapon siya what we call this, naa gyapon siya hangganan, no, kay kuan na lang man na siya sa technology na lang man ang nagkuan di ingon ana. So countries that prioritize healthcare research and innovation are better prepared to deal with health crisis and pandemics. So like you like USA or other countries that are rich in mga advancements, technological advancement, mas advanced sila, o sa US for example is they are better prepared to deal with mga health crisis like atong pandemics, di ba? So ingon ana siya, mas advanced sila kaysa sa katong mga dili pa kayo nag-adapt sa mga technological advancement sa healthcare. Ngana, so in education has been transformed by technology, which has made learning more accessible and engaging. So, 'di ba? Karon nowadays, the education has become more inclusive and cost-effective as a result of online learning platforms due through to virtual classrooms Google Meet, Zoom, and e-learning technologies. So this has resulted in higher literacy rates and more educated workforces, which has resulted in increased productivity and economic growth. So next is infrastructure. So in infrastructure, it has been transformed by science and technology. Why? It's because our transportation, our communication, our energy system are more efficient and sustainable. It's because of the science and technology. Kaya 'di ba, there are some like in Japan or in China that ilahang transportation is nagakuan na jud sa technology or mas more on technology na in karon atong communication is through technology na sab mobile phone, social media, and our energy system is more on science and technology jud siya. And scientific developments have enabled smart cities, green energy, and efficient transportation system. So, smart cities is kanang mga dato kay nga mga countries or mga city like Japan, China, US, and so other countries that are rich and mas kanilahang ilang mga transportation mga ingon ana. So lastly is the defense. So science and technology have also played an important part in national defense. Why? It's because 'di ba before ang mga pang defense nila ilahang weapon, ilahang mga armas, ilahang surveillance, ilang communication system is dili siya through technology. Ang ilaha is kanang tawo jud like sa surveillance magpaadto pa kag tawo didto sa imong kampo sa imong kontra para lang malantaw nimo kung unsa ilang gibuhat. Ingon ana, in communication system sab is kailangan pa ka magpaadto og tawo para iingon ang imong giingon or through sa writing letters magpadala kag sulat sa ana sa imong gusto padalan para maka-communicate lang mo tapos in weaponry sub is dili ingon ana ka develop kay kuan lang dili parehas karon nga through science and technology is nag-evolve or nag-develop jud ang atong weaponry, ang surveillance and communication systems. And it's because as a result nations are more secure and better prepared to defend themselves against external threats. Kay dili naman ilang surveillance tawo-tawo lang. So kung tawo lang man good is mapatay na to imuhang gipadala dito di na kabalik so wala na kay madawat. So through technology surveillance mga cameras na lang CCTV makita nimo kung unsa ilang gihimo ingon ana. So weaponry sub is kuan na mas develop na ana nay mga bag-o nga mga armas. Sa communication system sab naa sila'y what do you call walkie-talkie ba na siya o radio sa para maka-connect maka-direct sila og communicate sa lahang comrades silang kauban. So ingon ana. And that's all for our report. Thank you for listening.